What's up, guys? My name is Carter Griffin, and today we are going to be learning a little bit about imperialism in the Belgian Congo. Back in 1884, most of Europe's countries joined to partake in the Berlin Conference. This conference split apart Africa in order to prepare it for its colonialization and ended with the annexation of the Congo by Belgium. So, this first source is a letter from King Leopold to colonial missionaries in the Congo. In this letter, he tells them not to give the Congo people a seat or offer them dinner. King Leopold saw the Congo people as subhuman and used this belief to justify imperializing the Congo. The second source is a contract between the Congo chiefs and King Leopold. He trades them a piece of cloth for them being his slaves. Although this is clearly not a fair trade, Leopold still uses this trade to justify his actions in the Congo. This final source is a political cartoon by Mark Twain that depicts King Leopold on top of a pyramid standing over thousands of Congo skeletons. This showed that he viewed himself as above them and used this idea to continuously dictate them.
Next, we have a map that depicts the power shifts in Africa between 1880 and 1913. So, in 1884, King Leopold was recognized as the sovereign of the Congo Free State at the Berlin West Africa Conference. In the 1890s, Leopold expanded his military control into the interior. In 1908, however, the Congo Free State became the Belgian Congo, a colony of Belgium, after complaints over Leopold's brutal rule forced him to transfer power over the Congo to the Belgian government. Now we're going to talk about the kind of rebellions and resistance that happened. So in the Congo, compared to a lot of other European colonies, resistance happened a lot later due to the harsh punishments such as loss of limbs and death that came with the suppressing rule of the Belgians. So with the Leopoldville riots, there were more than 70 people were reported dead after rioting for only 2 days, and it forced the Belgian government to actually notice the Congolese. And also, the speech at the ceremony of the proclamation of the Congo's independence. So this shows that the Congo did succeed in winning their independence. However, a period of civil war in the country began soon after, and violence is still extremely prevalent in the country today. Next, we have the Casement Report. So, Roger Casement was a British man, and he was one of the first to draw attention to what the Belgians were doing in the Congo. In his report, he discusses his travels through Africa, as well as describing the Congolese living conditions. He also describes the processes of collecting rubber, Congo's main export, which consisted of climbing nearly the equivalent of 3 stories to obtain the rubber, and then smearing the liquid onto one's stomach, building up layers, and then ripping it off. This often resulted in the loss of skin and led to infection and death. Most workers wouldn't even survive more than 3 months, and those who refused often had hands cut off as punishment. He also talked about the process of which refining the rubber and getting it ready to export. And the reason that he decided to investigate this was because when he was looking at the trade that was happening from the Congo, he realized that all this rubber was coming out and the only thing coming back was bullets. So it kind of led him to question what the army was doing there.
So are y'all doing the next one?
Okay, so here we have a comparison of 2 graphs, and the one to the left is a graph of the profits by the ABIR company, which is Belgium's main rubber company, and then next to it is a graph of the annual Congolese rubber exports. And as you can see, the Congolese exports, as soon as it goes up, so does Belgium's profits. So you can see how they carefully made it so that they were the ones who were directly profiting from Congo's rubber exports. And so the thing about Congo is that most of the people in Congo were not migrating out. Instead, you had Belgian soldiers migrating in. So this map here to the right shows where the soldiers and where their troops were put and how they spread out and eventually covered most of Congo. And then here is another part of the Casement report, which shows and talks about how soldiers being in Congo affected the people living there. And then, as Paisley mentioned earlier, it took a bit longer for the Congo people to eventually rebel just because they were so suppressed. But when they did, it started with a group of Congolese soldiers who fought back looking for higher pay and greater opportunity, but eventually spread out in many other bases. And overall, everyone just began to rebel looking for more rights.
What's poppin', mates? It's Carter Griffin, back to tell you to remember, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you please. And we will see you in our next adventure into AP World History.